Welcome to the exam room with Nurse Alice. Hello, friends, and welcome to the exam room with Nurse Alice, the show where we take a closer look at things going on in the world today. Everything from health and wellness to love and lifestyle to politics and pop culture. So get ready to live life well. So this week's hot topic is brought to you by Nurse Approved. When you're looking to travel and do so safely, make sure to visit IamNurseApproved.com, your one-stop shop for face masks, travel kits, and first aid kits. Do you have yours? Shop with the coupon code THEEXAMROOM for 20% off of your next purchase. Stay ready and stay safe by visiting IamNurseApproved.com. So, this week's hot topic question comes from Charlotte Blair of Galveston, Texas. So she wrote in and she asked the question, how are we supposed to celebrate Thanksgiving this COVID season? So Charlotte, that was a great question. And I'm glad you asked that because that's the question that's on the top of everyone's mind. So we know typically people are traveling near and far to celebrate the holidays with Thanksgiving and friends and family. But we're still in a world pandemic. And so people are going to be out there still traveling, which means that there'll be more traffic on the freeways. And then also that means longer lines at COVID testing sites. That's right. People are starting to get their COVID testing, thinking that if I test negative, it'll be safe for me to go and travel and spend the holidays with my family. But I want to caution people because we know with Thanksgiving and the holidays, we're eating, we're cooking, we're laughing, we're hugging, all of these great things. And that increases the risk of transmission for COVID-19 because we're not wearing our masks during these times, guys, and we're having so much fun that we forget. So I wanted to share some tips with you so you can celebrate the holidays and do so as safely as possible. So tip number one, guys, I want you, if all possible, please stay home. We want you to celebrate Thanksgiving virtually. This will be the first year where it's okay to have your plate and have your cell phone and be on the computer while you're eating because we want to do everything as much as possible to quarantine, stay at home to prevent the risk of transmission. While you can take all the precautions possible, we don't know how Auntie Sally, Cousin Junebug, and how they've been doing and if they've been adhering to the same things that you have. So stay home and celebrate virtually. So tip number two, use paper plates and plastic utensils. So this is the first year that you go ahead and get a pass. We don't need to bust out grandma's finest chinaware or those fancy plates that we pull out whenever we have company because we know we have them. So this year, it's okay. Paper plates, plastic forks and spoons, and red cups for everybody. Okay, and the reason being is we want to limit transmission. And one of the best ways that we can do that is to use disposable single-use items. That way, we're not having to touch commonly used surfaces and we can decrease the spread. So tip number three is no sharing of common surfaces. So you know how we would all sit down at the table and we're like passing the turkey. Can you pass the chicken? Can you pass the green beans? Can you pass this and pass that? So this year, no passing of anything. That's right. No passing of anything. And what is recommended is that we actually designate people to cook the food. They're wearing masks too, but they will, if you will, take your order and prepare your plate and then sit it down on the counter for you to grab. This way it limits, again, everyone touching those commonly used surfaces. Because if you think about it, how many people have touched that handle on that potato salad, right? So you don't want to risk cross-contamination and touching commonly used surfaces. So no sharing of those common surfaces. Tip number four. We want to structure your home so you can socially distance. So we all know social distance, stay 6 feet apart. But when we're inside, we're eating good food, we're having some adult beverages, we're watching a football game, we're doing all those things, we can forget those type of things. So I want you to take a look at your furniture, move around some chairs, some couches, and those type of things, and structure your home so you have to socially distance, okay? And then also don't be upset if someone reminds you that, hey, 6 feet, we don't want to throw shade because it's all about loving one another and making sure that we say things and share things so we can all be safe. So tip number 5, wear your mask. I know you're tired of hearing this, wear your mask, but I have to remind you, at Thanksgiving, we're eating, we're drinking, we're laughing, we're telling stories. The masks come off, and don't get any feel-good juice in you, because then the mask will stay off any longer. And, depending on how funny the story is, spit flies, droplets are flying. So we want to protect everyone. Wear a mask. So the people preparing your food should be wearing masks, as well as everyone in the home, unless they are actually eating or drinking. And then even after you eat or drink, you want to put that mask back on, and be prepared for visitors who come without those things. So what I recommend is that you actually have a little basket at the front of your door. And that way you can have masks, you can have hand sanitizer, you can have footies and booties and all those different types of things there to help your guests when they come in your home, and to remind them, hello, we wear masks over here. And I'm doing that because I love you enough, and I want to celebrate not only this Thanksgiving, but next Thanksgiving with you. So remind your guests to wear masks. So Charlotte, want to thank you so much for submitting that question. Again, that was the question that you asked that everyone else was thinking. And speaking of masks, our sponsors, Nurse Approved, where you can go for your masks, want to say thank you to you, Charlotte, and your family. So what they will be doing is they will be sending you some masks, first aid kits, and travel kits, so you and your family can celebrate safely with their Nurse Approved products. So thank you again, Charlotte. And if you or someone you know have a question and want to submit it here to the exam room, we'd love to hear from you. So there's a ticker at the bottom there, and you can see. Please submit your questions and your comments to the examroomtv@gmail.com. We'd love to talk about what it is that you want to talk about, because that's what this show is all about. So guys, we have a wonderful lineup for you today. That's right. We have the Grammy award-winning multi-platinum R&B music group 112, who'll be joining us later. That's right. Slim and Mike will be here to talk about their new EP, 112 Forever, and share how they've maintained through all the highs and lows and changes in the industry, and how they're getting music out to their fans during COVID. As well, we have Michel Boyd from Bravo's hit design series, Buying It Blind, interior designer and luxury influencer. And he is coming to the exam room, and he's going to help us reimagine our rest space with a few easy house hacks to help us transform our bedroom into a sleeping oasis so we can sleep better. But first up, our next guest is the author of 19 books, including a #1 New York bestsellers, Shred, Super Shred, The 4-Day Diet, as well as 3 novels, The Blackbird Papers, The Ancient Nine, and his latest one, The Unspoken, which is about a former Chicago detective who is seeking redemption after being pushed out of the force. This next guest has been a longtime contributor to The Rachel Ray Show, NBC's Today Show, and Nightly News. And get this, he is the new host of The Doctors. Take a look here.
Congrats on the show.
And for 2,000 more, we plan to empower you physically, emotionally, and mentally.
I was 150. You got down to 100 pounds. That's not the end of the story, right? No, not by a long shot.
We're giving you the inside track on health and wellness.
This drug is undergoing a dangerous transformation,
So that you can get back to the life you deserve.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ian.
The Doctors, now more than ever.
Please welcome to the show, Dr. Ian Smith. Hey, Dr. Ian.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be with you.
Oh my gosh. So I love seeing you on The Doctors. And I've been a longtime fan of the show. And the format has changed a little bit. So can you tell us, what can we look forward to this upcoming season with you as the host?
Yeah, well, this is the first year that there's a single host, and I'm the solo host. Usually it's a panel of doctors. But we really wanted to change the show to kind of evolve to where we are now. And so, we still cover the X's and O's of medicine. We talk about, disease, diagnosis, treatment options, but we want to expand and talk about lifestyle and overall wellness. So, we're talking about music. So we have musicians come on because, music really is medicine. We have comedians come on the show and give us a lighter take on some of the current health topics and trends in health. And then we have a book club. So I started a book club called the Word Power Book Club, where people can join. And it's fun. We choose one big book to read a month and 3 recommended reads. And so the show really is about giving really important scientifically based information, but at the same time, we also want to be entertaining and have some fun.
Oh, I love that. And I have to admit, so when we talk about healthcare, oftentimes that's sick care because people are accessing their healthcare when they're sick. So I love this idea of, music is medicine and this wellness aspect. And in fact, I love the fact that you're sparking and leading the conversation to empower viewers. I mean, physically, emotionally, as well as medically. Now, most people usually have a personal story as far as why they entered medicine. So can you tell us and our viewers here, so what's your story and why is it so important that you're helping people this way?
Well, I've always wanted to be a doctor. I mean, since I was a little boy, and I was always a curious kid, loved biology, loved dissecting, little insects and stuff like that. That was just my nature. And so science and math, they were just my thing. I wasn't just a science and math guy, though. I was also a big time sports guy. I played a lot of sports, big athlete. I also loved books. So I was kind of a guy who liked many different things, but I knew that being a physician was going to be my calling. And so really, since I was 9, I just knew that was going to be it. And so I followed my whole career to become a physician. But really, I think I was triggered by my pediatrician, who I really enjoyed my relationship with him. I thought it was pretty interesting that a guy who was not part of my family, that I trusted him. I trusted talking to him about personal issues. He made me feel relaxed and comfortable. And I just enjoyed that relationship, that transparency that we have with each other. And I just knew that medicine and helping others in that way was something I really wanted to do the rest of my life. Now, instead of having a clinical practice, I practice medicine basically via TV and social media. I use a bigger platform to teach people and educate people and support people, but instill the idea of helping others really be empowered with their health destiny.
Well, I think that's really important, Dr. Ian, because let's be quite candid, especially with things that are going on now, people have been told to kind of, unless it's, urgent, to stay home because of COVID-19 and only go to your doctor if you feel like it's really important. So we have to reach people where they are, right? So like right now, people are watching us through their cell phones, on their computers, on their tablets. So I think that's actually very smart. Healthcare, we're a little late to the game with that, but I'm glad to see that you're leading the charge in that, because really that's really where it's at. Reach them where they are and when they're receptive with learning, because when you're sick, it's hard to kind of take in a lot of information. So, and I've been in healthcare for 20 plus years. And one thing I do know is that inequality does exist and there's a lack of diversity in healthcare providers. Right. So now that you're the host of The Doctors as a Black male physician, how do you hope to influence people who are watching the show, given historically that, for one, there just haven't been as many Black TV hosts. And then on top of that, you're a Black physician on television. So, I mean, I think representation matters. But what are you hoping will be the outcome of that and your influence?
Well, representation really matters. It's really important. I mean, you think about it. I always tell my kids, when I was a little kid, we never saw an African-American president. And so when you don't see an African-American president, you don't really think that it's really possible because everyone has been, white and male. And it's not that it stifled our desire to succeed, but think about it. You just kind of say, well, that's kind of out of reach. So even just physically being there and people seeing you, young people, anyone, really kind of can be inspirational. So that's number one. Number two, I think it's also important for non-Black and brown people to see that African Americans are equally intelligent, equally articulate, equally educated, equally driven. I mean, these things matter. And I think that one of the problems the country has right now is that people have images and stereotypes of African Americans. And I think a large part of that is because they don't encounter and don't see and don't interact with African Americans who actually bust that stereotype that they're having. And so I think it's important for an African American physician, if it wasn't me, anyone African American, to sit in this role as the host of the show, to run the show, to be the voice, to be the face. I think it's extremely important. And like you said, there aren't many Black African Americans, male or female, who are TV hosts. It's got to change. I mean, it's 2020. And just like African Americans have for years been willing to watch non-African American TV shows, we got to believe that can happen the other way around.
Absolutely. I'm 100% that part, hashtag that part. What Dr. Ian said, representation does matter. And I know that, young people of all different types of backgrounds are going to be watching you, Dr. Ian, as the host of The Doctors, and aspire to perhaps enter the medical fields and to aspire to be on television. And I hope it influences people in the media rooms to think twice about who are the people that we're putting on television. I think that the consumers of the content, the hosts need to be reflective of that population, which I don't think it does. So kudos to you on that. But there's also kudos due for other things, because I know you've written over 19 books, many around weight loss, dieting, the mindset of eating, fighting off those nasty cravings that help you pack the pounds on. But you do more than write about health and wellness. And actually, you're a novel writer. Can you tell us about your latest book, which I have here, The Unspoken?
Yeah, people don't realize that, I am a voracious reader and a writer of fiction. I love mysteries. That's my genre, thrillers, suspense. The Unspoken is because I felt like in the landscape of commercial fiction, there wasn't a character who was a strong African-American character who was smart, sarcastic, handsome, tough, kind of having some problems with romance. But I really wanted to create a character in the landscape that is us, basically. And so Ash Kane is that character, a former Chicago police detective who leaves the force because he won't participate in the cover-up of a bad police shooting, hangs up his own shingle, becomes a private investigator, and takes on very select cases in and around the city of Chicago. His first case is a missing wealthy girl from the north side of Chicago who just disappears, and mother comes down to South Loop in Chicago, downtown, just south of downtown, and hires Ash Kane to find her daughter. So it's a fun ride. It's a lot of twists and turns. And if you like reading books that make you think and put you through all the emotions, it's very cathartic. That is The Unspoken. Wow.
I'm really excited about this book. And so, Dr. Ian, new host of The Doctors, your new book, and you also actually released a book earlier this year. In fact, what else is in store for Dr. Ian, and how can we best support you here in the exam room?
Well, The Unspoken just got optioned to become a TV series. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to go to market and try to sell it to a network or a streaming service. So keep your fingers crossed, send positive energies for The Unspoken. Let me know, whoever reads the book, who you think should play the lead, because we're talking to actors about that. So that's fun. And, I have another book coming out in April called Fast Burn, which is a big 9-week diet program. Excited about that. The second installment of the Ash Kane series, The Unspoken, is number 1. Number 2 is called Wolf Point. That's already written. That comes out next fall. So I always have a lot of balls in the air, a lot of projects, and I'm just going to keep pursuing what my passions are. I tell people all the time, pursue your passion. Don't be afraid of rejection.
Absolutely. Following your passion is very important. Finding your purpose is very important. And Dr. Ian, you've definitely tapped on your gift with, spreading important messages about health and wellness. And as well, we've added novel writer, pretty soon it's a screen script writer and all those great things. So we celebrate you. I'm so excited to see you on television doing all these wonderful things. And again, representation matters. So I know that I am inspired, and I know that other people who are watching you are as equally inspired. So you consider yourself a regularly consulting physician here in the exam room. We welcome you anytime. And then you guys, please make sure that we support our good friend, Dr. Ian Smith. Please go out and buy his book. Make sure to read it. Let him know who you think should be playing the characters. If you need extras, I could be an extra. I don't know about the main part, but I could be an extra. Okay. And then also, you can visit his website, which we have down here. Visit his website to find out more wonderful things about him. And then also, we have his Instagram tag that we're going to post down below. But Dr. Ian, you just joined TikTok. Am I hearing that correctly? Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So my first TikTok video is up. I have no followers, by the way, but my TikTok handle is The Official Dr. Ian, DRIAN, The Official Dr. Ian. And my Instagram is at Dr. Ian Smith. Spell the doctor out completely. But yeah, come check me out. Leave some comments. I answer a lot of DMs. So I like to
Oh,
have fun
good.
on social media.
So you heard that Dr. Ian just gave you the prescription to slide into his DMs, but you only if you make sure it's about his book and the TikTok. So thank you, Dr. Ian. We appreciate you. We will be following you. You guys follow Dr. Ian on Instagram, visit his website, and please make sure to visit check your local listings to find airtime so you can watch and support our good friend on The Doctors. Thanks, Dr. Ian. So, guys, that was Dr. Ian. That was amazing. And so now let's segue into our next topic here. Something that is still very important to us, right? So I know myself, sometimes I'm laying in my bed, I'm looking at the ceiling because I can't get to sleep. I can't fall asleep. So the phone and the computer are with me. But I'm not alone, okay? So every year, more and more Americans are finding it difficult to not only fall asleep, but stay asleep. And when they are asleep, they're reporting that it's not really good quality sleep. And so considering all this, one thing is for certain, your bedroom should not be a contributing factor to this problem, right? So, our next guest is going to talk to us about how we transform our bedrooms into a sleeping oasis. Now, he is an interior designer extraordinaire, Michel Boyd. And I mean, you can see that some of the images here of some of his wonderful work. Oh my gosh, I would love for my space to look like that. I need Michelle to come on down to Los Angeles and visit a sister and help me get my space together. But until that time, until COVID is passed and I can bring him down here to LA, please, please, please welcome to the show, Michel Boyd. Hey there.
How are you?
How are you? Good, good, good. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, y'all, look at the background. Look at, you know, he was an interior designer extraordinaire. Look at that background. That is amazing. So we're so glad that you can join us. Now, I have my first question though is, I mean, you're one of the most sought out interior designers in Atlanta and actually across the country, which led to your being on HGTV's House Hunters and Bravo's Buying It Blind. But can you tell us, how did you get into interior decorating?
I'll be honest with you. I was a fashion guy first, and fashion informs interiors, and I wasn't happy, and I was trying to figure out where I wanted to land, what I wanted to do in my life in my late 20s. And Oprah said, remember what you did as a child, remember what you loved, and go back to that and try to make a career out of it and think about the money later. And I was obsessed with architecture and obsessed with buildings and all things industrial art. And honestly, interior design is a perfect merger between architecture and fashion. So I was building a foundation for where I am now, and I didn't even know it, to tell you the truth.
Oh, wow. You know, I would have never thought that those two intersect, but you're right. When you just explained that, it makes perfect sense. And I have to say, you've done an amazing job, because I mean, even looking at some of those pictures, and we also will be putting your website up so people can look. I mean, the images of the places I'm going to say transformed are incredible. Like I'm looking at that, it almost looks like my mom would probably say, don't touch nothing in here. Like it looks too perfect. Or, you know, this is the guest room. Don't nobody sleep in here. It's just for looks.
See, that's
but it's amazing.
Version of luxury. That's not our version of luxury. We live in it. We revel in it. We use it every day. That's what luxury actually is. No more plastic slip covers. Okay, leave that for mama now. Sit on your sofa.
Okay, there you have it. I love it. I love it. Now, so now people who are watching today, although we would all love to have, you know, our bedrooms and our spaces to look like that. Some of us are on a budget.
Sure.
Some of us have smaller spaces. And thank you so much for joining us. So you're going to help us with some house hacks on how we can transform our current space into a sleep oasis so we can live in luxury and get better sleep at the same time. So we have your tips up here, Michelle. So if we can go through those, I would love to hear more about it. I'm excited. Let's get it. Okay. Tip number 1, treat yourself to some new bed linen. Okay. Tell me more.
But honestly, I mean, a good night's sleep starts with linen, right? And I mean, because that's what actually touches our skin. And believe it or not, there's so many myths out there about thread count and, you know, Egyptian cotton and Pima cotton versus sleeping on like flannel sheets or whatever. It's really about what you're most comfortable with. And believe it or not, once you get above, I think it's 800 thread count, it's pretty much all the same. That's a secret that nobody would ever tell you, but I promise you, you're wasting money if you're spending anything above that.
Well, thank you for that, because I was one of those people who was wasting money. So you
Don't
heard
do that.
Okay, so good. So whatever feels good against your skin, that's the most
Exactly.
important part. Okay,
Exactly.
that is good to know, because that's going to be what's touching our skin and putting us to sleep. Okay, so tip number 2, you got some more good ones here. So declutter your bedside table. Ooh, I have to tell you, my nightstand's a little bit of a mess, because I got some Tylenol in there. I think I got some pens and some papers and.
Yeah, we're all busy, right? And everything lands on whatever surface. But if your house is cluttered, that's usually an indication of what's happening inside of your head and your life. So clean up that house and you'll have much more tranquil sleep and also peace of mind. It's just that simple.
Ooh, I think you gave me a little bit of a read.
It was a little read in there, just a little
bit of a read.
But it was also free advice.
Oh, and I love it, because you're right. When there's clutter, there's confusion, there's chaos, and we want to eliminate that so we can get better sleep. Yeah. Okay. Tip number 3, another good one. Get the right mattress.
That's tough. That's tough. And like you said, everybody's on a budget, right? I never met a client that didn't have one. But there's so many opportunities to save money at outlet stores, or even something that's missing one button. You could save $600, $500 on, a scratch and dent situation. You just really have to find out what actually works best for your back and whatever else you do in your bed.
Yes. Okay, but this segment we're talking about sleep. But yes, you heard. But that will put you to sleep if it's but we ain't gonna go there. But another thing that I want to throw in there is that, so if your mattress, experts recommend that if your mattress is over 10 years old, throw it away. Okay, because
10 years old, it's actually doubled in weight by that time. And that is skin cells, dirt, oils, just dander from, just day to day. So you don't want that mattress. You're breathing in that every night, just as important as your pillow, right? So yeah, definitely. If it's over 10 years old, invest in, do yourself a favor. Invest in a new mattress. You'll have a better life.
Absolutely. It's worth it, right? That makes perfect sense. Invest in a good mattress so you can sleep and feel better. And that is worth its weight in gold, guys. Okay.
Foundation, right? Mm-hmm. Foundation is the most important thing.
Absolutely. All right. Tip number 4, adjust your lighting and move things around. Okay. So tell me more.
As an interior designer, we make pretty rooms and buy beautiful things. But honestly, I feel like more than anything, we're responsible for the mood. And the mood in your bedroom is probably the most important one in your home. You want something that is going to be conducive to the best night's sleep, the most relaxation, and actually just turning everything off that you deal with in the outside world. Your house is the only place that you can control everything that happens. So your bedroom mood is paramount.
#mood, #what he said. That is very important. And you're right. Oh my gosh. So you guys, I hope you guys are writing this down. These are some good tips. Okay. So our next tip, essential oils, candles, and scents. Ooh, I like that kind of stuff.
You know how crazy it is how scent actually evokes memory, right? The hint of that movie theater popcorn or freshly baked cookies when you go and shop for new houses. Real estate agents always have those. Those are hacks. Those are tricks. It's familiar. And in your bedroom, it would be great to have something that, like lavender maybe, that's just conducive to relaxation and turning it off, actually coming down a few notches, and you remembering how much you actually love your home, because it's the one place that's gonna prepare you and fuel you to get back up and face that world again.
Oh, I love that. And I have to say, I love lavender. And, studies will show, guys, there's some studies out there that when they're looking at certain scents, there are certain scents that can help you fall asleep. And some of those include lavender, chamomile, peppermint, and jasmine. But at the end of the day, it's what you like. But I like those scents I just mentioned. Absolutely. So our next tip, number 6, and I really like this one, introduce some greenery. And I'm talking about plants. I don't know what kind of greenery I'm talking about, but
plants are plants.
What kind of plants?
Listen.
Yes.
There are lots of people with green thumbs. I don't happen to be one of them. I personally prefer something like an orchid. Don't you immediately feel elevated when you see white orchids or tranquil? It feels spa-like. It feels like a retreat. And they last for months. So again, it's a little bit more expensive than getting fresh flowers, but it lasts for months. So that's my favorite plant to add to a bedroom. Honestly, maybe 1 or 2, just life represented anywhere is always an value add for me.
Oh, absolutely. And you guys, plants do have some health benefits. They're important to air quality. So, and they can, like you mentioned, they can also boost our mood. They can enhance creativity, reduce your stress levels, increase productivity, and naturally filter out those air pollutants and so much more. So, and you can kind of double up. You can get you some plants that have scents of lavender and jasmines and gardenias, and those things can help you fall asleep too. Now, here's a big one, at least for me, because let me just say, I work night shift. So I'm trying to sleep during the day. So Michelle, I need to know. Block out that unwanted light.
I am a huge proponent of blackout drapes. And all that means is you got the pretty color or pattern or whatever you wanted on the front side. And on the back, the fabric is thick enough to completely block out the UV rays and light. So until you open those drapes, it's going to feel like midnight, even if it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's my favorite tip. And that's obviously one way to definitely shut the world out, right? It's great even for conserving temperature in the summer, keeping the hot air out. And again, in the winter, keeping the cool air out when you want it to stay warm inside. And if you can't have the blackout drapes, you can always use a sleeping mask.
Oh, yes, I love that. And I'll have to throw in there because we've just had time change. So it's getting darker earlier. And so in the morning, that sun is like creeping through the window like, hello, wake up. You're like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So it's good to kind of have those. And what did we call them? Blackout
Drapes.
Blackout drapes. Those are important. And now I love those. I will say for the ladies with the lashes, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. You're going to have to choose sleep or lashes. So maybe sometimes
I would say the drapes for those ladies for sure.
Okay, the drapes. You know, good, because I was about to say, you know, when if you have the lashes you take off at night, then you know once in a while. But you know, we can't anybody lashes. We gotta look good. So Michelle, oh my gosh, this has been amazing. These have been some wonderful tips. I love the subtle reads because we needed that. That's what we all need, and that's why we're here, because we want to do better, and we can do better when we know better. So Michelle, you have enlightened us with some wonderful tips that aren't that expensive. These look like hacks that could be under $25.
Absolutely. You know, luxury doesn't have a price. It's about the experience, right? And we just want to enhance your experience every day, wherever we can. That's what interior designers do.
Yes, and I love it. And you said live in luxury.
Absolutely.
So when we live in luxury, you know, you feel like $1 million when you feel, you know, because when you look good, you feel good, and then you can sleep good. So guys, let's give your bedroom a do-over, transform it into the sleep oasis. Thank you so much, Michelle, for the wonderful tips. You guys, we have to, I need to ask. So what else are you working on, and how can we best support you here in the exam room?
I have a few things going on, but you know what? I'm really excited about a new partnership I have with the gallery. I'm also a painter, and they carry my artwork, and our relationship is getting a little bit deeper. We are launching a new rug collection together in the spring. I just turned in the designs. I'm really excited about that. I'm launching home fragrance for that sleeping candle next to your bed this Christmas. I have a rug collection, a bespoke collection on my website, and I'm working on a new TV show. So look out for me on HGTV.
Oh my goodness. Look, do the damn thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. All this black magic. And this is something that we like to celebrate here on the show. You are so talented. You've been so informative. And we are going to continue to support you here in the exam room. And you guys, we have Michel's website down there. Please make sure to follow, as well as follow on his Instagram. We have all that great information there. So Michel, thank you so much. You know, we're going to have to bring you back because I'm going to need some more help with the rest of the spaces.
Whatever you want.
Hello. Especially our kitchen. I think the kitchen is the next area, but we'll get there. But thank you so much for your time. We love you, and we will continue to follow and support you.
Thanks so much.
Okay, guys. So now, are you ready? I don't know if you're ready. I don't know. Maybe I should wait. Are y'all ready? Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. So you guys, our next guest is responsible for some of R&B's best music, some of our favorite jams and our songs, from Peaches and Creams to Cupid to Dance With Me. They are a multi-platinum, Grammy award-winning R&B group. You watch them in the Versus Challenge with Jagged Edge, and they killed it. They also have a new album out. 112 Forever. And in fact, here's a snippet from their latest single, For Us.
It's gotta be for us. There's no denying. I'd rather fight or die trying. It's gotta be for love. No time for games. Let's get to loving. Time will ease the pain. Gotta be for us. Yeah. Remember you said we deserve to be free. And if things don't get...
Oh my gosh, please welcome to the show, 112. Yay! I'm so excited. Look, everybody else, I'm excited. Hello, Slim. Hello, Mike. Thank you so much for joining. I mean, y'all are just like real R&B music. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know we haven't, we've been so tied up in conversations. We haven't been putting up comments, but your fans have checked into the building. They are here. They have been waiting for you. Gosh, look, I got a little starstruck, y'all. I have to be honest. But let me get back to business here. So first off, I am loving the new album. I mean, Looking for Love, Nowhere, and For Us are my jams. And it feels so good to hear kind of that nostalgic 112 sound and keeping with real R&B music. Can you tell us more about your latest album and what your inspiration was for the music?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having Slim and myself. It is an honor and a privilege, and we're really glad to be here. The project was a labor of love. It was really just from our fan base. We just been hearing from them that they wanted something new, from 112. They wanted some new music, and so Slim and I decided that, hey, what better way to embolden and ingratiate the fan base back into the 112 brand by just giving them some new music. And we know, because like Slim and I always say, like, we were secure in our legacy. You know what I mean? We was already good. We were already 112. Like, we couldn't 112 any more than we've already 112. You know what I mean? But we felt like this album was necessary for multiple reasons. One, for the fan base, and then two, to ourselves, so we can just prove that, even though we're a duo now, that we can still get the job done in 112 fashion.
Oh, yes, definitely. The job is well done. And again, that's the 112 sound. You guys sound so good. You guys, if you have not already, please make sure to check out their new album. I'm jumping ahead of time, but that's like my jam. That's one of those, how you can play some good music and it just let it play. You just, oh, yes. And we listen, there we go. We album cover right there. And so it's some really, really good music. Now, let me just dive into a little bit. And Slim, maybe you'll want to take this one. But so your latest single, For Us, I heard through the grapevine that this was a song that was meant to encourage us to be more socially responsible and to take action and to get out there and vote, because there's just been so much going on in the world today. But this song was meant to kind of activate us. Can you tell us about the connection between the song and that?
Yes. Well, what better way for us to communicate with the world than through music? And we had a story that we wanted everybody to understand that voting at this time is just detrimental for us. So we wanted to contribute and let everybody know that, this is our time. This is our power right now. So this is our time to exercise our right to vote, and to be encouraging to everyone, with all of the things that are going on socially with us. We wanted to instill some positive energy out there through music, and and elevate and encourage each other. It's got to be for us. You know what I mean? So that's what 112. That's what we stand on.
Yeah, and the message, God is for us. It has. Let me say this. It has an excellent bop to it. One of those like, hey, type of song, and then the message, and the timing is so perfect because, there's so much hate and hate speech out there. We're seeing a lot of negativity. So to bring some feel good music back into the fold was really, really important. And that's one of the things I enjoy most about your album. But let me ask this now. So you guys are veterans. You guys are straight vets, right? You've been in the game for over 20 years. I'm not trying to date anyone because Black don't crack. We still look young. There, I had to throw that out there. But you guys entered music at a time where, you know, people were doing like world tours. We had CDs, cassettes, and vinyls. And for the young folks who don't know, go ask your mama. But, you know, at a time where they have that. So now it's changed. We're like digital world now. So can you tell us how COVID has impacted your ability to perform and how you release music now? And, you know, even how are you guys staying connected with your fans during such times?
Well, the most important thing was to have a presence on social media, because like you said, the times have changed now and it's more of a digital age that we live in. So the most prudent thing for us to do was to establish that fan base and just let them know that, you know, we're not, we haven't abandoned them, and we are still in it. We're still in it despite what's going on in the world today. You know, 112 is still alive and well. As far as performing, we haven't really been able to perform. Well, nobody really has been able to perform. There's been some virtual opportunities for us, like with the Sweat Hotel we did with our Uncle Keith Sweat earlier in the year. But as far as touring and stuff, man, it's really difficult and challenging right now with COVID like rampaging right now throughout the U.S. and the world. And to go even deeper, I myself contracted COVID back in July. So
wow.
You know, I was diagnosed with around the same time that we were doing we were premiering the videos for the new EP. So I'm here to let everybody know that it's real. Please wear your mask whenever you're out. It doesn't discriminate. It has no agenda other than to get rid of us. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what color you are, what your race, creed, you know, none of that matters when it comes to COVID. It's real. And I just wish that a lot of people don't listen to the propaganda and just look at it for what it is. And just, it's a safety precaution. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for the people next to you and the family members that have underlying conditions, like so many of my family members. So just do it for me. If you even if you don't believe in it, just do it for 112, just because we asked you nicely.
We're doing it for 112. 112 will be going on tour with Dr. Fauci and Nurse Alice very soon. But real talk. Well, first off, we're so happy and thankful that you were able to recover from that, because we know over 250,000 Americans were unable to, unfortunately. So we're glad you recovered, and thank you for sharing that important message. Because and guys, whether you hear it from me as a nurse, from your doctor, from your favorite R&B group, 112, the message is still the same. Wear your mask. It doesn't discriminate. And if you're sick, you're not going to be able to go to the 112 concert when it's time to, you know, get up and rolling again. Because we got to get there now. But let me ask this: any more virtual concerts or things that we can, you know, be looking for that you already have on the books? Because I knew that when I was going to be interviewing, like, oh my gosh, I'm interviewing 112. This is amazing. But we want to hear you sing. We love to hear you sing. Cause I mean, like, it's just, I mean, it's beautiful to talk to you, but your voices are so amazing. I think God skipped people in line when he gave out good singing talent. And then he just dumped it up on y'all. Like, let me just go and give it to Mike and Slim. So, is there anything in the near future as far as a singing event or a concert, virtual concert, or maybe an a cappella or something that's in the near future? Just putting it out there.
Well, you know what? It's funny. I'm about to embark on like a business venture out in Vegas this weekend, and I'm about to set up something really big. So, you know, myself, something crazy going on.
Hey.
He did the Bergman rub, y'all. He did the Bergman rub, so y'all know it's real.
Yeah, Prince.
Hey, listen, I'm all for it, baby. I'm just not hearing it like America's hearing it, but hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay, there we go. So we're definitely going to stay tuned. So now, getting back to like world pandemic and those type of things. So that has been very stressful. It's impacted the lives of actually millions of people worldwide now. And even just with the regular things of adulting and like being a parent, having to work and those things, you guys have endured your share fare of career highs and lows, and then changes in the music industry, like from, like we said, CD to digital, and how, you know, all of these things happening with COVID. So I have to ask, what do you do for your own self-care, and how do you maintain your own physical and mental wellness throughout all this?
Oh, that's a great question, Nurse Alice. First of all, I want to say I love your profession because my mother is a registered nurse. She's been one for the last 35 years. So, you know, big shout out to Mama Cheryl. She's on that front line as well. And so, you know, my prayers and everybody's prayers go to her to strengthen her. And the prayer warriors are out there right now strengthening her. And she's able to get out there and do what she does. But she's been a registered nurse for the last 35 years too. So I just wanted to shout her out that, you know, I understand as much as I possibly can without being a nurse what the struggles that you guys endure, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
I'll take
it. Thank you.
Look, it's all on this side. But what me personally, what I've been doing and enduring is I honestly had an issue with this initially about speaking about it, but I don't have an issue now because I know that using my platform, it will help somebody else further along in their journey as well. So for years, I have been seeing not a physical therapist, a therapist, and no diagnoses or anything like that. It's just I needed answers that my brother Slim couldn't provide, or you know, the representation, or my parents, or the church, or the pastor couldn't provide. And you know, and I found that that it's been helping me a lot as far as the mental health. And that's one of the issues that we do not speak about because it is quote unquote taboo. And you think, when you think therapist, you think, okay, he must be crazy. And initially I thought, that's what I was thinking, man, I can't do therapy, man. Like if this get out and then, you know, the world knows that I'm going to see a therapist and all this other stuff, then they're going to think we're crazy or think I'm crazy and all this other stuff, man. And the truth of the matter is I'm not crazy. And I'm far from it, but I needed help where nobody else could, you know, help me with. So with me going to seek a therapist for the last few years, it has helped me tremendously. And I would encourage any and everybody that has the inkling to do it, but is fearful of the ridicule and the persecution, so to speak, to just give it a go, you know, because at the end of the day, your mental health is your mind is and your brain is just like any other organ, any other part of the body that's going to need some help every now and then. It's going to need a tune up every now and then. So you have to, at some point, you have to give that your mental self a tune up at some point in the game. So I've been doing that, and it's worked. Like I said, it works tremendously for me. You know, he's one of no nonsense kind of guy when it comes to, you know, the therapy. He calls me out on my mess, you know what I mean? And I need that. It's Slim will attest to that. Like, you know, the best way to get me to do something is to call me out on my stuff. You know, when I'm messing up, you need, hey man, look, you messing up, you know what I mean? Or you effing up, or you whatever it is. But, you know, and I receive that, you know, as opposed to you sugarcoating it or, you know, beating around the bush or whatever. So we need that sometimes. And yeah,
and I have to say that with you and, you know, sharing that going to the therapist, listen, everybody needs a good therapist, because this is the thing. We're quick to go to the doctor when we break a leg, our tummy hurts or something like that. But, you know, but we have so much, you know, stress, anxiety, depression. I mean, just look at everything that's going on in the world today. Everybody has a reason to be experiencing one of those. So just like you exercise and go to the gym to, you know, maintain your wellness, you should be doing the same thing with a therapist. I think that everybody should have a good therapist on board, because that way you don't have to jump into crisis mode when something happens or it gets overwhelming. So that is actually a great practice to adhere to. And I think more people do need to go to a therapist. So that's wonderful. I mean, I have one too. So listen, and like you said, it's not that there's anything specifically going on, but that's a good thing. Right. Nothing has to be going on because I'm taking care of my mental wellness by doing that.
That's right.
Yes. And so keeping along with health things. So Slim, I heard through the grapevine, somebody is a great cook and cooks lots of healthy meals. So spill the tea or spill the recipes. We got to hear. So tell us more about that.
Well, with me, it's more about proportion. I try my best to. I like to try different types of food, and then I like to experiment with what's actually healthy. So I read to see exactly what's actually healthy, and then I can substitute certain things with other things. When I eat it as and I keep eating it or whatever, you put the right combinations together, and it becomes absolutely amazing. So I have my test dummies, I got my boy, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and they'll be very frank. Trust me. If it's good,
okay.
Yeah. If it's bad,
Right. Well, let me say this though. Let me say this because when we're born, we're not wired to really crave or like salty or sweet foods. That's an acquired taste. So over years we learn that. So I think as you mentioned, so you're looking at different ingredients, you're trying different things, and I think it's a matter of training your taste buds. Because I'm pretty sure what you cook is good. I'm pretty sure it is. But maybe your friends need to, maybe those test tasters, I'll call them. Need more of your cooking. Need more of your home cooking. That's what it is. So we putting Slim in the kitchen for Thanksgiving, y'all. Yes, he's gonna.
Oh.
Let's do it, Slim.
Yes, let's do it.
Oh man, there's a lot of substitutions going on.
But don't mess with the greens. I'm just telling you, don't mess with them greens. Don't mess with them greens. But So let me go into this because again, I have to go back to this because it was so amazing. The verses y'all did with Jagged Edge. Did you guys know how huge, how big that event was going to be? Because I mean, you had people dressing up, planning dates, dinner, wine, setting the table up like this, like they were really at front seat of a concert. Did you know that it was going to have that big of an effect?
Yeah, we honestly, short answer, yeah, we kind of did. We knew that versus they don't call you unless you're iconic in your field of whatever your genre is. So yes, he reached out to Slim and on our end we was ready to say go. When they said, hey, do you guys want to? We said yes immediately. Like y'all had us said, do we want to? And because we knew that there was a lot of people that weren't really, they were familiar with the name, but they weren't really familiar with the music. And that had been like one of the things, for that's been going on with 112 forever. Like they would know the song, but then it's like, who sung that? They're like 112. Oh, okay, cool. So we wanted to just reaffirm ourselves and just stamp ourselves again as those dudes that held you down for the late 90s and early 2000s and beyond. And we also wanted to just celebrate music, because initially it was verses going against each other. But with all this division that's going on in the world today, and especially within the Black community, the last thing that we need to do is put Black men against other Black men. So our mind frame, Slim and our mind frame was, hey, man, look, let's celebrate this music because 12 and Jagged Edge are iconic R&B groups, that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, we feel that it's this trifecta, right? It's New Edition, Jodeci, and Boyz II Men, and then after that it's 112 and Jagged Edge. It's like that's the mind frame that that we have, and it's just showing respect to those guys that came before us. So we just wanted to make sure that the fan base knew that with all this division that's in the world, the last thing that we wanted to do was to pit Black men against Black men. We wanted to celebrate each other's careers. So, but yes, to answer your question directly, we knew that it was going to be big. We were on the phone with Puff, Mario Winans, Stevie J, Faith Evans. We got with all of them, and we put together this plan. Now, we'll say this: we kind of suckered Jagged Edge into going first because we knew, like, okay, if y'all go first, we can go. We'll have a record match, so whatever they came out with, all right, let's get married. All right, cool, peaches and cream. You know what I mean? So it was. We kind of like wanted them to go first, that was all part of our plan, so we could know how the science was going to go, man. So that took a little finagling, but but yeah, we kind of got our way with that, man. And we came away with the victory on that. Billboard versus and who else was it? And Revolt TV. Yeah, Revolt TV was all saying that 112 came with the victory. So yeah. So
hands down. And and I love Jagged Edge. They have wonderful music, but I tell you, there was no competition when it came to 112. And me watching it, I was all excited, like, this is my jam. I'm looking at my kids like, listen, this might have been the music. This might have been the but the thing is, you guys gained new fans because with the digital technology, I mean, people like you mentioned, people who maybe weren't born or were too young to listen to music back then fell in love with 112 during this verses. So and it's real R&B music. No diss, no knock to people who are singing and creating music now, but there's definitely a difference. There's definitely a difference between the music you guys created in that era to today.
Right.
Slim shaking his head like, show is.
That's right. Yeah. That's
so,
right.
Okay. So, man, I mean, I know we're coming up on time, but I have to ask. So, what else is 112, Slim, Mike? What else are you guys working on that we can best support you on? Like, is there like, I know you alluded to some things, Slim, that you're going to be doing some things in Las Vegas, but is there anything that we could like sign up for today, buy now, go visit, follow? Like, what are those things that we can do today in addition to buying the album, which by the way, y'all, is amazing. I have to say again. So let us know, how can we best support you and what's next?
You know what? I'm going to let my brother say this one right here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Drop it.
Yeah. So yes, in addition to what Slim is going to tell me after we get off this this interview, we are selling. We have merch here. We got the mask here.
Listen, go ahead. I love
it. In addition to the CDs, you can see it right here. It's 112forever.com. You can purchase your neck gaiters, your mask, your footies, your t-shirts, your hoodies, and the CD, and the hard copies of the CD, which is something special that we really want to do for our fan base, because we come from that era where they want tangible product. So we wanted to make sure that. So yeah, again, that right here, 112forever.com, you can pick that up. We're doing a lot of the philanthropic things as well, like feeding the homeless here in Atlanta as well. So we've been out doing that as well. We want to get more into the philanthropic aspect of the world, because we know that the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required, and we've been given a lot throughout our whole career, but we can always do more. So that's something that we're definitely planning on doing. Of course, COVID took a toll on us, but and everybody, but 2021 is going to be that year that 112 turns it around as far as that goes as well. I'm doing a podcast as well. It's called The Unapologetics. Is myself and Brandy Dawson, and she's been a blogger for several years, and that's something that's been therapeutic to me as well, and something I really like doing as well. So that's The Unapologetics. So you can find it on Instagram as well. But yeah, that's 112. We're just gearing up for 2021. That's our goal right now. Everything that we want to do, we want to keep highlighting mental health. We want to keep highlighting the family structure, the family dynamic, and how we need to elevate that and keep moving as Black men and kings of our kingdoms. And we wanted to make sure that that we are healthy enough and mentally and physically healthy enough to continue to keep this 112 legacy moving forward. So, especially with us not being in our 20s anymore, not aging us nothing, Slim, but, for us not to be in our 20s anymore, we have got to, take better care of ourselves, which we are, but, we just have to say, you just got to be prepared to do the things necessarily. Like I myself, I've lost 35 pounds in the last 6 months. So, that's been Slim has lost, some weight as well. We know because we was gearing up for this touring season, and then COVID struck, dagnabbit, but no, we're getting ready for 2021. That's going to be the year with the touring and the philanthropic and more of the entrepreneurial things that we're doing outside of music. So 2021 is that year. We're claiming that.
Well, it's wonderful. I'm glad to see you guys doing well. You have a wonderful album out. You have, looks like there's tons of merch for people to buy, from face masks to, as well as other things on there. You have a podcast. Slim's got something coming up in Las Vegas. So much success to you. I mean, we here in the exam room really appreciate you taking the time. I am personally definitely a fan of yours, and we will continue to support and watch 112 when the concerts come up. We're there. When it's virtually available, we're there. And you guys, make sure to follow them. It's down there below. You can follow them on Instagram at the official 112 and visit 112forever.com. I want to thank both of you all for joining us here in the exam room. Thank you so much. Wishing you much more success, and we will be following and watching you all.
Thanks, Nurse Alice. Listen, again, you nurses, y'all make the world go round. So God bless you. Thank you.
Much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh. So that has been amazing, guys. Really make sure to check out their album, 112 Forever. It's amazing. And so, gosh, we are wrapping up on the show here. So had a great lineup. Thank you again to 112, Michel Boyd, and Dr. Ian. Please make sure to support, follow, and like and buy their merchandise, because guys, this is a show about supporting one another. Okay. And so when it comes to support, myself included, I want to make sure that you all, please, if you like the content of today's show, please support me as well. I am a nurse, but I'm also a creator. And to get this information out to more people, I need to get the word out. So you can follow, like, subscribe to youtube.com/Ask Nurse Alice. Reshare this video and go to the website and share the other videos as well. And if you are really about that life and really want to support a sister, you can please also support the exam room with Nurse Alice via Cash App at the exam room. Every dollar donated will go to improving the show, to make it bigger and better, and to getting it out to people who need it the most. Because this show is, again, about health, wellness, love, and lifestyle, politics, and pop culture, and inserting important information out there so you can feel empowered to make the best decisions possible. And just, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this before I fully close up. We here in the exam room want to send our prayers out to R&B singer Jeremiah, who is hospitalized with COVID on a ventilator, as well as to comedian actor Sinbad, who we're told is recovering from a stroke and is in the hospital. So we want to wish our Black Kings a speedy recovery and support them as well. And guys, again, please make sure to support the show and tune in every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, you can watch on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as if you're on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio and watch it right there from Instagram. And join us next week, because next week we have another amazing show. We have Dr. Contessa Metcalf from Married to Medicine Atlanta. She'll be joining us and talking to us about a health and wellness topic, as well as track and field Olympic gold medalist Brittany Reese. She'll be joining the conversation. And you know we had to do it. We have Grammy-winning R&B superstar Anthony Hamilton, who will be talking to us about what he's been up to. And so, guys, until next time, please be kind to one another, make good choices, and live well, my friends. Good night.